Hello, everybody. This is Dave Wallace coming to you from my home here in Waihawa, Hawaii. And what you're looking at is my feedback sheet for the NBA game that was played between the Cleveland Cavaliers and Los Angeles Clippers. It was played earlier today, and final score is known. One of my favorite parts of the games, whether I'm playing basketball or football, is taking a look at the point totals, commonly called the over under. So there's a line that's established by the books, and you can bet whether the final score will total over that line or under that line. So that's what we're looking at in this particular inquiry, what the point total will be, and whether it's going to go over 211.5 or stay below that. So I am sharing this mainly because I recently released my manual for this particular method that I'm showing right here, and this is a method that I designed specifically to go to Las Vegas or other gaming areas where it would be crowded, it would be noisy, and you won't be able to lug around forums and carry your computer around. So all you need to have to make this work is this steno pad, okay? And you can take several of them. In fact, this fits in my man bag. And the other thing that you need is a set of pictures, okay? And these are your targets. Remember, we're talking about using ARV. ARV is associative remote viewing. And when you're using these envelopes and photos in the envelopes correctly, what you're doing is that you're asking your mind to show you the correct pictures that show you one of two outcomes, okay? And the outcome here, over and under, the final combined score can either go over 211.5 points or remain under. So those are the two options. And because we have two options, we picked two envelopes from this section, okay? And that's what I did last night. So after creating this form, I pulled two envelopes, and one to represent that the score was going to go over, and the other to represent if the score was going to go under. And so that's the associations I made. Once I chose my envelopes, I closed my eyes and began sketching, okay? I began to see an image, and the first thing that I drew for this image was something long and tapering, and it stayed there on the paper for a while, and then apparently my creative mind got in and says, something long and tapering, gotta be a giraffe. So I completed the story that was formulated in my mind and drew a giraffe. And as I probed this sketch, these are some things that I picked out. Something tall, an animal, brown, spots, trees, something natural and in the outdoors. Okay? And the sensory things, and this is where you visit the target using your five senses. And the first thing you do is listen for sound. And I listened for sound. It was quiet. Smell and taste. I could imagine or sense manure or some kind of vegetation around there. And the texture was smooth. Temperature was warm. And the sight, I saw something tall. Okay? And the emphasis is in this long, skinny thing right here. Okay? And for me, it looked like trees also. And finally, when I opened up my first envelope representing the over, this is what I was presented with. Okay, this is a picture right here. So if you take a look at what I drew, long skinny lines and kind of like tapering off. Has more matches my giraffe. Okay, so that one element of the giraffe, something long, tall, and skinny, is depicted right here in this photograph, especially in this area here. Okay, and other things that I got correct: something tall or long, natural, outdoors. Okay, were they trees? Probably. Okay, and it was quiet. Okay, so this picture of the giraffe matched up with my sketch of the giraffe, matched this the best. And the second picture that I opened up and discovered was a lightning bolt. Okay, and it was something natural and outdoors, but it did not present me with this idea of two lines kind of like converging in a distance, more perspective. Yeah, so I decided to go with my prediction. I decided as a pass because the points, there's a math, there's some math that you need to do to calculate your final score, and I like to bet. My threshold for betting is 3.5. This one came out to 3.06, which is just below my threshold of betting. However, after establishing that and looking at the giraffe and really going over and realizing that the first thing that I drew was these lines, kind of like that, had to continue the line that would converge in the distance, just like the photo. Okay, so I would have to say pass and favor over, and so that was my prediction, actually over. And here's the final scores. I like to keep track of my the scores. What I do is I take the final total points, and for this one I rounded it off to 212 points, and I divided it by 4, and this way I can keep track of the progress of the game. And interesting enough is at the end of regulation they ended up tied, 212 points, but just with that 212 points put me over by a half point. And so my prediction for this game was correct. All right. And since my prediction for the game was correct, I drew my feedback sketch right here of the road. And this game went into overtime, so the final score was 231, which is way over 211.5 points. So this is a winner. And this is a process, again, that I describe in my book, Picking Winners, Forecasting Sports Using ARV. And if you check me out on Amazon, make sure that you not only put Picking Winners, but also my last name, David J. Wallace. And that way you can get the right Picking Winners, because there's about 2, maybe 3 other titles with Picking Winners, but we were talking about different applications that we are using. Okay, so anyway, check my book out and hope you enjoy it. Most of the people that are checking this out and using my system have been improving their winnings, and it's a good warm feeling to see something that you create actually helping people improve their earnings. Okay, so this is Dave Wallace, and if you have any question, check me out on Facebook, Kahu Dave. Okay, and let's check it out. Okay, take care and aloha.